Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Football Exponential Podcast. I'm Chika. I'm joined by Frank.
Hi, Chika. Hi, guys. Good to have you back on the podcast, and welcome back.
Yeah, Frank. Today we'll be making a preview of Week 13 Premier League week. Let's go with the first one. Palace. Manchester United is away at Crystal Palace on Sunday. What do you think about the game?
Um, I think I think it's a game that United cannot afford to drop points in, and I know it's one of those games where I know since Amorim has come to the Premier League, the comp with his system and Crystal Palace has been made. Like how Crystal Palace managed to find a way to make that system work, entertaining. Players look good, they score goals, they keep clean sheets. But United is not quite the same. And on the anniversary of Amorim's 1 year in charge, that's 12 months as head coach,
Yeah.
there's only been 12 wins, 12 Premier League wins. So I think it's one of those ones coming off a bad. I think the last result against Everton was a really, really. I think that's probably the worst result if he's had as United head coach, and probably one
Yeah.
of the worst performances they put in. And it's funny how sometimes in football, like if they had won that game, they go 5 games unbeaten. But now they lost that game, they've gone 3 games without a win.
Yeah.
So I think they need to get back to winning ways. And with Crystal Palace, I'm not quite sure if Mateta might be available for the match because he went off injured in the last Premier League game. But I think with Crystal Palace, I think so far they've negotiated well with the Conference League and the Premier League. And I always expect Crystal Palace to play well. They play good football, and I feel with Adam Wharton, he runs the football game whenever he's playing. Regardless of who's playing, I think for me, most time whenever he's on the pitch, it's always one of the standard players on the pitch. He's the English Pedri. I know Barca fans get a lot of they hype that man a lot, but I think Adam Wharton is as good, if not better than Pedri, in my opinion. Well, I think
You've always rated Walton. You've always rated.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you
No,
do
no,
you
I have.
think Adam
No,
Walton is that good?
yeah, I have. Because I think the first time I saw Watson up close was when Blackburn played against Chelsea in the League Cup in the Pochettino season. And I think he came up against Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, and he was the best player. He ran them ragged that day. And this was like you see the way like he runs the game, like on every like defensively, he's strong defensively, he can receive the ball, he can turn, he can find passes, he passes through the lines, he can go long, he can go short, he has and he doesn't look strong, boy. He's hard. You can't
Yeah,
get
he
the ball
doesn't
off
look
him.
strong. Yeah, he
You
doesn't
can't
look
get,
strong.
and he has, and I think his vision is astounding. I think it's just a matter of him for his next move. Because again, I'm not trying to say one of Crystal Palace's best players again, but if you see what Eze is doing at Arsenal now, you see what Olise is doing in Bayern Munich, you have to wonder where could be at the Watson's next step. But for me, my opinion, I think it's one place. I think one club should be in for him, really, really in for him, and that's Real Madrid. I think
I'm
he's
serious.
no, I genuinely believe he's one of the best midfield players in the world. He just and sometimes with football, sometimes you always like Olise for example. Olise was at Crystal Palace. He goes to Bayern. Now he's getting talked about as one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
But
yeah.
he was still like nothing has really changed. But just the platform is different. So I feel and Walton is one of those guys that if he gets that big move, it could be United. But I think I think Real Madrid should be in for him. Like he can take Real Madrid to the next level, in my opinion. Well, back to the game. At, I think prediction. I think it's going to be an exciting game. I'm going to go with a score prediction. I think Crystal Palace are going to win. I think there is. I think United will struggle to deal with Crystal Palace in the midfield. Like most games United play, they lose that midfield battle. This Sesko is out injured, and I don't know. I don't know. But what do you think? How do you see it?
First of all, for our fans, if you like what we are doing, smash the like button, subscribe, drop comments, and then share.
Yeah.
For me, for context, Palace have recorded 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 win. Oh, sorry, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss in their last 5 games. They are fifth in the table on 20 points. Manchester United, on their part, have recorded 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss in the last 5 games. They are 10th in the table, 18. I think if there's any team that United should avoid playing in the Premier League, it's Crystal Palace. I don't see how United are going to. I think it's as bad as if if Palace draw this game, then is points dropped for them, because
Yeah.
Palace have everything to beat Manchester United, because
Yeah.
Manchester United struggle against teams that sit deep and force them to play the ball. That is why they struggle against the likes of Fulham. They struggle when they play Chelsea, for example. Chelsea always wants to attack or whatever. United always wants you to be the one attacking, so that they can use the speed of Mbuemo and then Cunha and then Fernandez, and then play in behind through balls or long balls in behind and attack you. Against Crystal Palace, it's not going to work, because Palace are going to sit deep. Palace are going to be patient, and then 50-50 chances. You look at Munoz, you look at Guehi, they are going to win all 50-50
They're strong.
chances.
They're
So
strong.
I
They're very
feel
strong team.
it might be a goalless draw or Crystal Palace win. But I
Yeah.
just feel, although Palace has dropped a little, they've tailed off a little from the strong start they had, but I still feel this is a win for them. I don't see United surviving this game. If you watch them
And
against Tottenham, against Everton last week, United were dreadful.
yeah, and also with Palace, I think Palace they always set up fantastically. They're well set up against the big teams, like traditional big teams. They always put in good performance. They might not necessarily win, but they always tend to put in good performances against the top clubs in England. So I think I'll go to home win for Palace this
Okay.
weekend. Yeah.
Let's go with the next one. West Ham are away to Liverpool, and then on Sunday. And for context for our viewers, West Ham have recorded 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. They're 17th in the table, 11 points. Liverpool, it was dreadful. I didn't know. I didn't see that until 4 losses, 1 win in their last 5 games, and that win was against Aston Villa, who didn't sit back but tried to play or attack them. And they are 12th in the table, 18 points. And then is even worse when you watch Liverpool play. You watch yesterday where Van Dijk, just for no just reason, had to raise up his hand like he was asking the teacher a question in
When we
class.
when we in the post, when we in the post.
It was dreadful. Like, yeah, what do you
No,
think? What do you think as
I
regards this
think
game?
I think it's safe to say Liverpool are playing like a bad. They are playing like a bad team. Like they have all the signs of a bad team. They don't create enough chances. They can't defend. Defensive mistakes all over the place. Big players not performing. I think Virgil. I know. Again, I'm going to talk about it again. I know after when Rooney came out to criticize Virgil van Dijk, he tried to clap back at him, and I think since then Liverpool have gone on to concede 10 goals in 3 games
Mm.
in all competitions, and I think that's what it is with Liverpool right now. And again, I think if I'll say it plainly, if Liverpool can't get a win against West Ham at that stadium, the London Stadium, where West Ham don't have a fantastic record at, they might as well just end everything right now. Just I don't have the answers. They're well paid people in that building, the Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, who are paid heavily to make those decisions. But if they cannot beat a West Ham team at that London Stadium, then it's finished. Because again, this time last week I also said the same thing. If they can't beat it, Sean Dash's Nottingham Forest at Anfield, that's a bad sign. Not only did they lose, but they got absolutely battered. So they need to. When it comes to system, personnel, I don't know what to expect, because again, Konate and Van Dijk, it's not working. I don't know what's happened to Konate. I know there's contract talk, but it's bad. And again, I like the coach a lot, but again, I have to look at the coach and like, at what point do you start making tough decisions? At what point do you, okay, Konate is not being good enough, he has to sit down. Salah hasn't performed well enough, he has to sit down. £100 million striker Isaac is not playing well at all, he has to sit out. So when do you make those tough calls? When do you find a way to mix things around, get these players playing? And I think they look so short of confidence. They can't do the basics. And I think one of the worst things they do is they don't work hard as a team. There's
Yeah,
no
they
run
don't
in
work
that
hard.
team. They don't play for each other. So it's kind of hard to see if they still if they're playing for the manager. And it looks. I don't say they've down tools, because I think that's always, whenever people say that, I think most times it's quite unfair. But they're not playing like a team. They're not playing for each other anymore, and that's when you get to that level, it's hard to come out of it. Like once you get there, because again we've seen this with Chelsea, when you just get there, like, you know what, you start accepting losses, start accepting defeats. The fans get used to accepting defeat as well. The fans going to games not expecting a performance, talk less of a result. It's really tough for them. But I think West Ham. I think Nuno has found his way. I think they got lucky last weekend with the draw against Bournemouth, because in the second half, Bournemouth peppered them. I think their XG in that game was over 4 points, over 4 or something. I think they create chances well now. I think Bowen hasn't scored. I think Bowen carries it straight. Callum Wilson now, it looks like he's chipping in with something. So I think they can cause some problems for Liverpool. But I don't want to say expect, but I think Liverpool have to win. And just on that basics, I think.
I think Nuno Espirito Santos is doing a good job in West Ham. I knew it was always going to take him time. His first game, he just battered the opponents, and he made it seem easy, but I knew always they were going to struggle, and I think they're safe with him. But defensively, I'm not still so sure about. I'm not still sold on West Ham. I know they're going to struggle.
By far.
Yeah, and offensively, they have individual players, but there's a lot of things to be sorted. For Liverpool, I think if I'm going to sack the manager, then the director of football and everybody have to. I won't say sack, but they have to be. There should be a punishment, because this is not just on the manager.
But it's also, but again, like this is some, like I was watching the build up to the Champions League game, Man City and Bayern Leverkusen, and before the game started, the Bayern Leverkusen sporting director, one of the ex captains, Simon Rolfs, came out and was talking to the media. They asked him the question, why did you let go of Erik ten Hag so early in the season? And he explained the decision making, like, okay, we thought it wasn't working. We decided to do this. We've had an eye on our current coach for a long time. He's been at our training camp with the national team training, so we've seen him first and how it works. I went to him, like, he explained it. But in English football, there's this culture of sporting directors not coming out to talk. There's no communication.
We don't even know them. We don't see them.
No, like, it's because, again, I know they spent a lot of money, and I know Arne Slot did not unilaterally sign those players. So what was the thinking behind signing guys like Frimpong and Kerkez to come and play fullback in a team that needs fullbacks that can pass the ball? Like, like there's a lot of questions, and like, they've gone in the last 3 years. They've tried to sign several defensive midfield players: Caicedo, Lavia,
the guy
last year, that was going to Arsenal. They failed to get any of those guys, and now they splash all that cash, but they didn't
buy one.
So there's just so much. Like, if you look at the squad they have good players, but the profile of that squad is just mismatched, and and for me, I don't think that's on Slot. I think that's on the guys on the recruitment too. Because again, someone needs to go ask the question, like, guys, we spent this, we spend this, we're getting this. This can't be good enough. What's happening? We've given Mo Salah a bumper contract. He's not playing well. What's happening? Konate is running into the last year of his contract while still being on paper, one of our best centre backs. What's happening? Who's in charge of all this decision making? So I think for them it's tough, but we'll see.
And I don't know why he doesn't like to play Joe Gomez. I don't know if they had problems. It's surprising. No matter how bad the team is, he doesn't try to play Joe Gomez.
I love Konate, and I can understand when a player is going through this contract stalemate to the club, where he's probably already turned. He's talking to different clubs. But what the club then does is, you know what? They fridge him. They put him away. Like, you know what? Sort yourself out. We'll move on without you. If you're not signing, it's either you're in or you're out. If you're not signing, you're out already. It's like, and again, I think the failure to secure a top centre back in the summer window is still haunting them to this day, because most times when like the last 2 games when they've been losing, one of the first subs is made is take off Konate for another attacking player. Then they try to create more chances to get back in the game, but they then concede another goal and they lose heavily. So I know it's tough for them, but I love to see it.
Yeah, I love to see it. I think it's going to be. I'll go for a Liverpool win. 2-1. What is it called?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay,
think
let's go to the next one.
that's a bit the
Uh,
big one.
but don't be
This
surprised.
is
It might be West Ham can nick it. Let's go because if they lose against PSG, that was shocking to me.
no. I could not believe it. Like, do you know how bad the Dutch league is?
Yeah, that was shocking to me. It's
Nah, it's nah.
let's go to the next one. Chelsea, Arsenal at home, away to Chelsea. In the last 4 games, in the last 5 games, Chelsea have uh recorded 4 wins, 1 loss in the last 5 games. They are second in the table, 23 points. Arsenal have recorded 4 wins, 1 draw in the last 5 games. First in the table, 29 points. That means the difference between the two in the last 5 games is one is recording a loss, one is recording a draw. So Arsenal are in top form. They just demolished Bayern Munich. I had to rewatch that game yesterday night, and I couldn't believe the mistakes Bayern they could not deal with Arsenal on, even with Manuel Neuer, how big he is. He couldn't deal with Arsenal on set piece. And then you see what Arteta did. Arteta just he demolished company. He took out Saka and put in a different player because I think the left back yesterday, that was Lemia. That was Lemia, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lemia. He dealt
Conor Lima.
Lima. Oh, he dealt with Saka in a very good way. But immediately they brought in Madueke, different profile, because you saw how Madueke sneaked in from behind and provided
to the back post.
Saka wouldn't. I'm not comparing the book, but Saka would have struggled
I see what you mean.
that's totally two different players. Yeah, and then there's the if you watch Arsenal yesterday, also there's something happening, and I just noticed it yesterday. I think the team is slipping from a Saka's team to an Eze's team. I don't mean Saka is still not the star player, but offensively, the burden on Saka has reduced a lot since Eze got into that team. You know, before, before
I know.
it used to be Saka every time, but right now Eze has reduced a lot of burden on Saka now. So Saka can be ordinary in some games and they still win a lot of games because you saw the pass Eze gave to Calafiori for that goal. That was just so they had a very good game against Bayern and expected the Bayern to do. But if you are any coach and you want to beat Arsenal, I had to rewatch the goal Bayern scored like 4 times, and you realize how to beat them. It was Jonathan Tah. He wanted to clip that ball down to the Gnabry. He hesitated. He now gave it to Kimmich. Kimmich took some time, and he immediately, before even Kimmich gave that long pass, Gnabry started making the run. Skelly saw that late. It was already late. Gnabry overran him, got the pass, and gave it to the guy, Carl something. What's his name? Carl. The 17-year-old.
Leonard Carl.
Leonard Carl. He gave it to him. So you could see Arsenal slipped off at that very, very moment because they tried to push high the pitch with Saliba. That is the only way to beat them. So if you don't, and Chelsea, if you watch Chelsea against Barcelona, that is all Chelsea did against Barcelona. So I think it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, and just to speak on that, I think Arsenal, particularly in the big, because I think Arsenal get a lot of bad rep in my opinion. Sometimes it's a bit deserved and sometimes a bit too harsh. I feel like watching Arsenal sometimes is a bit boring. It's not entertaining. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be. Like Arsenal are in the winning mode now. They're in the championship mode. They're not in the game to make it an exciting game. But what I've noticed with Arsenal is because we see most teams they sit back, they let Arsenal have the ball. Arsenal found this especially with Eze now. Eze, Saka, and Trossard, they can punish you even if you sit deep. Moreno as well can punish you in different ways. But at the same time, if you try and play football with them, like you push up the pitch, we've seen with Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, when they opened up, try to play more football, Arsenal destroyed them on the counter attack. So the problem is now how do you approach this Arsenal game if you're a Chelsea coach? Do you want to go all out attack with the lineup and with the mindset of the game?
No, to me, how to approach this game, no playing out from the back. Because if you watch, I had to watch Bayern Munich. I had to watch Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, PSG, and then Arsenal, Bayern Munich. You watch that when teams try to play from the back, Bayern attack them. Bayern's pressing is very, very effective. But they struggled against Arsenal because Arsenal didn't try to overplay it. All Raya was doing is to play long balls directly. So it beats so many of Bayern's pressing. So now Arsenal to me is a better team as regards pressing than Chelsea. So you can play out from the back, because Chelsea, if you watch the game against Barcelona, Chelsea tried to play at the back. They made a mistake. James made a mistake, played the wrong pass to Caicedo, Ferran Torres. So that can happen, but you limit it. Let Sanchez be out, because you have Neto on that side. You can decide to not to start Stavao, but how do you not start him after having such a game?
Exactly.
It's going to be difficult. To me, you have to let him have a bad game before you can handle him. So when you have the likes of Neto running and you have Gusto, because in that position you can put Gusto, he goes forward to that particular position. Estaval is going to be on the right hand side. Estaval moves to the middle, and then Neto is the striker, because Gusto has a way of running. He is very, very good running, as good as Neto. So Sanchez playing out from playing long balls from the back is going to destabilize us now.
Okay, so just speaking on the lineup you like, see, are you gonna go with the same as Barcelona? Or are you making some changes to that lineup? Are you bringing Joao Pedro back, or are you?
No, I'm not bringing Joao Pedro because of 50-50 balls. I'm not bringing Joao Pedro back. I'm not bringing Joao Pedro back, but I'm going with the same lineup if they are not tired. But I'm going with the same lineup because this is not a game for Giddins. I'm going with exactly the same lineup.
Yeah, no. I think the only I'm thinking of two situations. If I'm taking Garnacho out and bringing in Joao Pedro, means Neto has to go on the left. And also
but I have to play the lap against a physical Arsenal strikers.
But it's almost. But I also feel if you play a guy like the lap, you're playing into Arsenal's hands. If you understand what I mean, because that's what they want. Like if you're a Saliba,
that's what they want. Yeah, that's what they want.
You want that,
and they are going to win because they are too Mosquera. They are very physical.
And like again, I think that's why Mosquera gets paid the big bucks. Like because I think about it, but I think especially at home, you cannot. I think Esteban has to start. I think you need that guy on that pitch that can create tension in that Arsenal defense consistently. When you feed him the ball, you can find a way to create something and something that needs to go. But I think defensively, I'll keep it as it is. In the midfield, I might take James back to right back and bring in Santos, because I think we need to be. Because I think we're going up against one of the best out of possession teams in European football right now. That's Arsenal. Like I don't think there's any team that presses as well as them, that wins second balls, wins duels in midfield.
You know, I'm starting Gusto in this game because of that running in that right hand side.
You're right.
I understand. I might drop James and start Santos. That's not a problem. But that running, and also Estaval, most of the game is going to play central. Because I had to watch the game against Barca. That guy is extremely good in central position. I didn't know he was a number 10 before.
It's like I always feel. I have this belief, and I feel like players like Esteval, those kind of players in that mode, Esteval, Eze, they have to play centrally. Like sometimes most of them start out wide. They start out joining out wide, then they move to the middle. And even like Gareth Bale, for example, is another example where he started from left back, moved to the left wing. But in his best season, where he won PFA player in the Premier League, he played through the middle under Villas-Boas. So I think like the really good, because that's where you can, of course, you can impact the game out wide, but that's where you can truly impact the game from the middle. Like you're just within the width of the penalty box. That's where
I must rest James, then bring him on in the second half. But Gusto has to start because of the pace of the game.
And I think I think in games like this, I always want to get James on the pitch, because it's your captain. You want your captain with you on the pitch, because you also want because I think technically James is probably one of our best players on the ball when it comes to ball striking, creating, passing, and all that. So I always want to get James. That's why I understand why James gets into midfield, because you get the added bonus of Gusto, who's a freak. He's a freak athletic. He's an athletic freak. He might not be technically the best, but when it comes to making runs in behind on either side of an oppositional fullback is a very problematic issue to deal with. But I think the lineup, I think centre backs for Fofana, Chalobah, I'm okay with that. But Esteval, Caicedo, obviously. But again, I think we'll see. I hope there are no injuries from the Barcelona game. I hope they've recovered well, because I think this game, I think this could be the game of the season so far. I think
Yeah.
because, and I feel for Arsenal, I think Arsenal have to, and I feel this is a game that is, I think it's more about mindset than. I think both teams will go in there well prepared tactically. But I think again it's about which team is ready to go out there for the win, like willing to risk it for the win. And I think with Arsenal, with the opportunity to a win at Chelsea takes Arsenal 9 points clear in the Premier League table heading to December. I know it might not sound like a lot, but that's a lot of points already. Like a 9-point lead, and the Chelsea Park is an inconsistent Chelsea. Man City with their issues. I think 9 points. I think it will be tough. But again, I expect a fiery game, a good game, and I think in this case, I'll go for Chelsea win. Of course, I'll go
for a draw, a 1-1 draw, or a Chelsea win. But I'll go for a draw, a 1-1 draw. I'll go for a draw.
And,
but I think a draw for me, even though Arsenal might still be on top, but a draw for Chelsea. I feel Arsenal should get the job done by defeating Chelsea and make sure that you just defeat the monster and the monster never gets up. But going out and recording a draw with Chelsea is going to embody Chelsea, even though Arsenal are ahead. I think Arsenal needs to get the job done and just defeat them. Yeah. Okay, that should be all for us today. Thanks for all our listeners.
See you. We'll be back for the reviews after this weekend's games, and hopefully Chelsea get a W. So
yeah, happy Thanksgiving, America. Have a good one.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to my people over there. So enjoy.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.